People tend to say that the most memorable parts of the essay are the introduction and the conclusion, and more specifically, the first line and the last line. Therefore, apart from beginning the essay well and setting a strong foundation, you should also end off your essay memorably. After beefing up your essay and adding the layers of muscle upon muscle to the skeleton, it is time to dress it all up and not leave it awkwardly naked. The conclusion serves the three main functions. It summarizes your main arguments, reiterates your opinions but with added insight, and leaves your reader with a strong impression of your essay and ultimately of you. Let's discuss each function in detail. The summary of your arguments in the conclusion should never be mere repetitions of your topic sentences, nor should it be the repetition of your thesis statement. If so, then what's the point of writing the entire essay? You could just submit your conclusion. If you're lazy, one way to do it is to paraphrase a few key arguments, and though this is unwise, as examiners can pick it up easily. A more sophisticated way, but not very much more so, is to draw some logical connection between the various arguments that you have laid out in your essay and to draw out those links in your conclusion, ultimately linking everything back to the thesis statement itself. It's sort of like, I have the muscles on, I have the circulatory system, how do all of these add up together to become a human being that is greater than the sum of its parts? Not only will this allow you to summarize your arguments and reiterate your stand, you also manage to introduce additional insight into your essay. One point to note, however, is that you should never write a whole new point or argument in your conclusion. It's only shooting yourself in the foot to do so, because you might as well write that as a whole point in itself. So, even though it is wise to introduce additional insight, it is never so by introducing an argument. That's it. Summarizing the arguments and reiterating your stand alone is not going to leave much of an impact on the reader. What differentiates a good essay and a great one is that the latter leaves the reader something to chew on after he finishes the essay. A lingering thought or question, a feeling like, hey, why did I not think of it this way before? Just as you have a hook in the introduction, this is the final fireworks display at the end. Again, there are a couple of ways to do it. A convenient way is to link your conclusion back to the introduction. For instance, try to weave in the quote or anecdote used in the introduction, but in a different way. Another is to end with yet another quote or question, something for a reader to ponder on. A common way to do so is to allude to a broader issue even, by introducing the philosophical or societal implications of the topic of discussion. Back to the example, image is everything. One could possibly briefly talk about the consequences of our youth growing up to think that image is everything is true. With that, we would have successfully completed our essay. Doesn't seem so daunting after all, does it?